around the time, let's say 2022, when we start our podcast, Pod Meets World. Maybe a more broad, general question for you is, do you hate us?
No, I don't hate you.
Okay.
I don't hate you. I think that you hate me because you wouldn't speak to me on when we would go to Girl Meets World and everything. And that was hurtful. That was
okay. I wouldn't speak to you?
No.
I did talk to you.
No, not really. Not really. Unfriended me on Facebook.
I did not unfriend you on Facebook. I don't know. I truly don't know how that happened. And when you went public and said that you had sent me a message
I did send you
on Facebook around the time that I got married the first time in 2013.
Yes.
You sent it to Will. You told Will, I sent Danielle this message.
Yes.
She didn't respond to me. I am not a Facebook person. I barely ever use Facebook. As a matter of fact, the only thing I do on Facebook is now that Instagram allows you to post the things you post on Instagram on Facebook, I have that toggle on. So whatever I post on Instagram goes to Facebook. But otherwise, I don't even go on Facebook. So when I heard that, I said, oh my gosh, did not know that. I then went into my Facebook page, saw that we were not friends, was like, didn't remember when we were friends on Facebook or when we were no longer friends on Facebook, found your message in like the graveyard of messages that your messages go to. And I then felt very bad. I felt like, oh man, you did send me a really nice message. You had said, congratulations on your engagement. Congratulations on Girl Meets World. It was very sweet. And so I said to Will, will you please ask Maitland if I could have her phone number so that I could apologize to her? And you wrote back to Will, no, let's just save it for the podcast. It'll be great for the ratings.
Not the ratings. I think we should talk it out on the podcast. Something to talk about, you know.
I believe the official quote was rock the stats.
But also the podcast back then, I thought the podcast was going to be like next week back then. It was that you guys were just going to start out. So I thought it was going to happen like right away.
Right away. Got it.
But honestly, no, you did not speak to me on the set of Girl Meets World, except for hi.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I have no pictures with you or anything on that set, like a Girl Meets World. And I thought, because, you know, you were at my wedding and everything, and I thought we were friends. And then it was just like.
Wait, what year did you get married again? I don't remember what year it was.
2006 at the end.
Okay, yeah. So I do remember when I got the invitation to your wedding, and it came out of nowhere because we hadn't really spoken since Boy Meets World had ended. So Boy Meets World ended in 2000.
Yeah.
And then you get married in 2006. And I was like, oh my gosh, how nice is that I got it? And I remember talking to my mom about it. Oh my gosh, Maitland invited me to her wedding. And I thought, oh, fun. We're going to have like I'm sure it's going to be a Boy Meets World reunion because you and I hadn't spoken. So I thought if I was invited, everyone else was probably going to be invited. And then it was me and Michael, and it was great to see Michael. I hadn't seen Michael in a long time either.
And Ben's family and Dee Dee.
Yes. So there was a little Boy Meets World reunion.
I wasn't invited.
I did not know who you guys were at that time. Literally.
Oh, okay.
This was 2006. Were we on social media? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I had your email or whatever.
Okay.
I had information probably from Dee Dee.
Dee Dee would make sense. Yes. Because Dee Dee and I have been in touch ever since.
Yeah.
So through Dee Dee. Okay. So I just remember being really excited. It was very sweet. We took a really beautiful photo at your wedding.
Yes,
you looked so gorgeous. Your wedding was really gorgeous. It was a really beautiful, beautiful day.
Yes.
And then you got married in 2006. And we never spoke again.
No,
I went to your wedding.
Right. We didn't really speak.
And we never spoke again.
But I didn't speak to them either. And I saw them on the Girl Meets World set, and you guys bear hugged me, and great to see you again. After
we weren't working.
Yes, I was working. I was definitely working.
You had an attitude about it though, because I know there was some beef between us because I didn't get it. And maybe I picked up the wrong signals, but definitely there was some sort of like weirdness there.
And so what did you think it was?
I didn't know at all. I didn't know. I didn't know if you thought that I was trying to like come onto the set and like take over or something, like not take over, but like try to steal attention or something. And like, but I didn't know. I really was very genuinely confused why we wouldn't be good.
I don't feel as though I was not good with you, but I definitely didn't have a relationship with you that was like, oh my gosh, my long lost friend, Maitland.
But
I was working.
Kind of
it was a very, very difficult set. That in those 3 years were, you know, the memories. Let's put it this way: the memories we have of the fun set of Boy Meets World were not the memories or the fun set of Girl Meets World. It just wasn't. And I went into it hoping it was going to be. I went into it expecting it to be, and it wasn't. It was a rather tumultuous place. It was a place I felt very ostracized. I felt very criticized. I felt a lot of different things. That was not the set of Danielle being carefree and running around shaking hands and kissing babies. So I am sorry that you thought I had something personally against you.
Listen, I mean, you didn't like the fact that I was getting a lot of attention at that time and going off in my own space and taking away like that attention.
I was on the cover of Maxim in 2014.
And I love that. I applaud you for that.
But I wasn't in any way upset. I didn't think you were. It was two totally different spaces.
I didn't know why you were upset. That's what I mean. I didn't know why you were. That's only what I get.
But you just told me right now why I was upset. You were saying before you didn't know why I was upset, for sure.
No, I
but
never.
Just now, you just said you
that's what I thought. Maybe.
Oh, that's what you guessed then.
Back then,
is what you're saying.
Yes. Back then I was thinking maybe that's it. Maybe she's back then. Not like I'm like,
got it. I thought you were saying that now, that's what it was, and I was like, okay,
no,
I'm totally understand that was what you right.
Is she mad at that? Is she,
got it? And that absolutely. In every experience we have had on this show where people have finally talked about things that have never been talked about in the 20 or 30 years since they've happened, or 10 or 20 years since they've happened, when it then comes up, every single time there's a reveal, which is like, oh, you know what? I made this a personal thing. I thought it was about this. And we go, oh, and here's what was going on for you and for you and for you and for you. So that makes sense. And I'm sorry that you thought it was about you or anything you were doing. I didn't, like I said, I did Maxim in 2014, and it wasn't until after I did the cover of Maxim that I realized that wasn't for me. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it made me feel. You and I actually have totally different and both perfectly valid experiences with that, where you have grown into it and embraced it, and it is awoken a part of you you didn't know existed, and you feel empowered by it. I had that one experience and felt the exact opposite. But I didn't know I didn't know that was my feeling until after I did it. So we've just had two totally different journeys in that, and they're both valid, and neither of them
different journeys. That's true.
Are wrong. And then there have been other, it seems like almost any time the podcast is in the news, in the press, there's a quickly followed up TMZ interview with you.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's interested. Yeah. They always want to know.
How do those happen, by the way?
Because they come and get me. They find me on the streets.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I've ever been found on the street.
You don't hang out enough in West Hollywood.
Oh, it's West